So we have 1,725 points of Drukhari, the core of which is, of course, the Witch Cult of Incessant Rage. It's organized into 2 battalions and 1 Outrider detachment. This is the 1st battalion, consisting of 2 succubi, of course, on the right and center. You have the Warlord, who is Dali. She has her archaic glaive and the Triptych Whip artifact. Combat drug, +1 attack. To the left, you have her sister Anna. She has a blast pistol with her archaic glaive, and her combat drug gives her +2 move. 2 squads of 10 witches, having all the witch weapons represented. The Hecatrix in both units has a blast pistol and agonizer. The squad on the right, combat drug, +1 strength. The squad on the left, +2 leadership, splinter mind. Then in the back left, you have a squad of 6. The Hecatrix with the blast pistol and agonizer, and then we have 1 Chardonnette and Impaler. Their combat drug is +2 move. And in the back you have 5 witches. The Hecatrix armed the same, with the witch on the left being armed with Hydra gauntlets. Their combat drug is +1 weapon skill. And then you can see the Decade transports. I have 3 raiders, each armed with the Dark Lance, and I have 1 pretty awesome Venom. It has the splinter cannon on top, dual splinter rifles on the bottom. One last note, Dali has a artifact as well, and that is the Blood Glaive. So, on to the next Outrider detachment, led by everyone's favorite Kitty. The Outrider detachment is led by the 3rd triplet of the famous succubi triplets. That, of course, is Kitty. She is armed with an Impaler. Her combat drug gives her +1 strength. On the left and right, you have 2 units of 6 Reavers. The one on the left has the Heat Lances, and the one on the right has 2 Blasters. Of course, 2 Riders in each of those units of 6 are armed with Grav Talons for the mortal wounds. And their combat drug is the same, both getting +1 attack. And in the back, you see a small squad of 7 Hellions. The combat drug for that squad is +1 toughness, to see if I can't keep them alive for a bit longer than what I've traditionally been able to do. Lastly, we have 1 battalion. This is the Cabal of the Crippled Dog, led by the 2 Archons in the middle. The one on the left is armed with the Hush Blade and Splinter Pistol. The one on the right has a Poison Blade and Blaster. 2 squads of 5 with no upgrades. The 3rd squad of 5 on the right, we have one of the Kabalite warriors armed with a Shredder for some anti-infantry support. This whole detachment runs the obsession of the Obsidian Rose, so all weapons gain +6 inches. Of course, the Scourges don't qualify for that. We got 2 units of them. The one on the left is armed with 2 Dark Lances, and the one on the right is armed with 2 Blasters, and the Solarite is armed with a Blaster and a Power Lance. So that's it for the Drukhari. 1,725 points, ready to take on Simon's AdMech.
Hey guys, this is AdMech, 725 points. In total I have 3 detachments, a battalion of AdMech and a battalion of and a vanguard detachment of Sisters of Silent, and a super heavy auxiliary detachment of Adeptus Mechanicus. So I will start over with the battalion of AdMech and then we go on. In the center you see a Tech Priest Engine Seer and the Dominus. The Dominus has the Graia relic, which gives me +1 on an additional command point. On the troop choices I have 3 Vanguards and 2 5-man squads of Rangers, so I go on here. This Vanguard troop has 3 Plasma Calibers and a Data Teeter for +1 or for rerolling moral. These guys also red carabines and 3 arc rifles, and these guys are just plain with radium carabines. So going to the Rangers, I have, as you see, in each 5-man squad 3 galvanic rifles plus 3 transuranic arquebus. Same here. In the backline I have Titan Guard. On the left side the hoplites with arc lances and mark inverter shields. And on the left side the peltas, which have 3 modes of shooting. And as a heavy support, I have an Onager with a neutron laser. So we switch now to the Sisters of Silence. As you can see, it's 4 squads. Each is 5 girl strong. 2 squads with executioner blades and 2 squads with just flamers. And in the backside I have the Helverines, the Amiga Helverines, which are were recently published or released with Helverine autocannons 2 times plus a heavy stubber. In total this grants me 10 command points. My dogma is the Graya dogma, refusal to yield, which means when I get an unsaved wound and the model is being to slain either in combat, shooting or morale, I can roll a d6, and on a 6 they refuse to yield. So it's like a 6 up feel no pain, but much more better for smaller units. This also applies for that one, but just on the last wound.
Should make for a very interesting game against the Drukhari Witch Cult.
Yes, indeed.
What is the location?
Today's mission is Tactical Gambit, deployment style, hammer and anvil. A quick note about the terrain. This river that you see running through the board, its only function is to be -2 to charge through if you have to charge through that river. Otherwise, troops move through there unaffected. Of course, we have plenty of cover, including line of sight blocking terrain, and a number of forests. As far as the mission, Tactical Gambit, each player starts with 4 objective cards. Each turn, they need to make a wager on how many of those they're going to be able to accomplish.
Before watching the mission cards.
Yep, so if you're drawing new cards, it's before you see what those new cards are. If you are correct in your wager, you get that many points. If you fail to achieve that many points, then your opponent gets those points. You've seen it played on the channel before, but we'll explain it as we go through it as well. The Drukhari ended up putting their first unit down before Simon did, and they also finished putting their last unit down before Simon did. So we'll start here on the left with the Drukhari. We have a 5 squad witch in there, in that Venom. We have the Scourges armed with the blasters hiding in the ruins with the Hellions on top. A 10-person witch squad is in that raider. We have the Archon with the Huskblade hiding out behind this 5-person squad. A second 5-person squad of Kabalites way back there in the rear is reserves. That's the one with the Shredder in it. And then the 3rd Kabalite warrior squad back there on objective number 4. We have the command raider closer to me and a regular raider with 10 witches flanking it. The unit of bikes on the far side is the one with the heat lances. One on the near side is the one with the blasters. And then we have a unit of scourges here with the dark lances in the back. Simon, over on your side.
And let's start from the left side. So as you can see, I massed my Sisters of Silence on the left flank. Mostly flamers in front, behind the executioners or the vigilators. In the center, I have shifted that one. I put my Peltas in front and my hoplites in the back. And in the back on here, I have the squad of Helverines, which will, because of their special rules, after, even though this is one unit, afterwards they can freely, independently operate. Then, as you can see on the both towers, I have my Rangers with the Arquebuses. I think it's clearly what they have to do. Here back between the tower and here we have the Barebone Red Carabine as a Vanguard. In the center we have here the Arc Rifle Vanguard backed up by Dominus and the second Helverine. On objective 6 is my Onager with the Tech Priest. Also I think everyone knows what he has to do. And
he has to die, Simon. That's what he has to do.
This is what you would like to have. And here, as you can see, arc rifles and plasma cavalry vanguards. So each 3 of them. So, and honestly, I'm quite a little bit. I'm used to playing masses or mass army. So it's for both of us kind of very exciting because Mike never faces me having mass armies, and now he's facing a mass army. So
I get practice when I used to play Imperial Jake before he left us, so I'm used to it. But these guys, this is the first time I played this Drukhari Mechanicum Alliance, and then I haven't played those Arbiter Knights yet. So all kinds of new learning experiences. Simon, of course, has some experience playing the Drukhari. Everything's shaping up to make it an excellent game. So sit back and enjoy as we get ready to roll to see who goes first. Okay, Simon, I get +1 to my roll. I'm in red. That is a 5, which makes it a 6. Simon gets a 1.
So I want to seize the initiative, obviously.
I didn't think you were going to do that. I will go first, obviously.
Nope.
As another 1.
So Mike, good game, sir.
I'm excited.
I'm too.
All right, we'll
Let's
be back
roll it.
with the first turn. I have drawn my 4 cards and cautiously have gone for 1. The cards are good. I got Defend Objective 3, Area Denial, No Escape, and No Prisoners. No Escape, if you're not familiar with the Drukhari card, is kill a unit that's entirely in terrain during my turn. So this is Objective 3, which must be defended. Here you have the center of the board. Obviously Simon is not within 6 inches at this point, so I will get my 1 at least. Simon, you have opted to take Shroud Song for your first Canticle.
Yes, exactly. So units in cover don't get the bonus, but units which are not in cover getting +1 to their armor save.
All right.
Or counting as covered.
Drukhari, move out. Not a bad first turn shooting by the Drukhari as the Venom opens fire on the squad of 5 Flamer Girls, killing 3 poor armor saves by Simon, and then followed up with a Phantasm Grenade Launcher from that Raider. Unfortunately, that Raider's Dark Lance failed to hit the Knight. This squad opened up using the Obsidian Rose Doctrine and killed one of these Flamers. Well, these guys opened up after advancing, needing force to hit, killed one of the guys up on top of the tower there. All the other action was on the far side. Blaster from the bikes managed to take 5 wounds off of the walker. Had to use a command point in order to do that. Totally worth it because the original roll was a 2. And then one of the Dark Lances managed to hit, taking an additional 4 wounds off, something like that.
Yes,
It's down to
in total you took away 8 wounds.
8 wounds, so it's 3.
Yes.
So pretty good. Otherwise, of note, the Archon and the Command Raider fired his grenade launcher, Phantasm Grenade Launcher, at the unit that had already been hit by a Phantasm Grenade Launcher. Did 1 wound using the Torment Grenades, 1 mortal wound, so that was pretty sweet. And the rest of the shooting was pretty much it, but we are in good position to charge, so that's what we're going to do. Drukhari turn 1 charge phase coming up next. Well, the action was on this side of the table as both squads of Reavers managed to make their way into combat. I did lose 1 on Overwatch here and then took 3 points of damage, so 1 is wounded here. Grav Talons came through, killing 2 with mortal wounds and then wiped out quite a few more in close combat. Simon was able to knock out those 3 wounds, as I said earlier. The squad also made it in, killing 3 from the unit that was in the river and 1 from the unit that was not in the river. So in their Overwatch, they managed to kill 2 bikes, and then close combat did a damage to another 1. So as far as morale is concerned, the Drukhari are good, Simon, with their leadership of 8. You, however, are not, so you're going to have to roll for this unit right here.
I'm using 2 command points for that one.
Ooh, okay. This unit right here is they're going to be at a -2 to their 7 leadership because of the Phantasm Grenade Launcher.
So 6 is just a lost, which not happened.
And then lastly, that unit lost 3.
So 7 is a 4. 5. I can re-roll it because of data enhanced teacher. It's a 4, so it's fine.
Okay, so they're all fine. We'll take a look and see what Drukhari scored here and give you our battle points. They did not get first blood, though, importantly. Despite not getting first blood, the Drukhari do score area denial. Simon had no one within 12 inches, and I rolled a 5 there, so that's 3 victory points. Plus the 1 for the wager that I made good on makes the score 4-0 at this time. Not scored was defend objective 3, no escape, and no prisoners. That's going to be a good start for the next turn.
So hey guys, this is Mechanicus turn 1. I said I will just achieve one objective this turn. And my objectives are, as you can see, defend objective 2, defend objective 3, blood and guts, and advance. So kind of tricky, but manageable.
For reference, defend objective 2 is right here in the back of Simon's lines. That's a good start for Simon. And then defend objective 3, we both have that card now, so that's going to be a place for contention. It's going to be hard to hold for 2 rounds for either player, I think. Okay, we'll be back with the mechanical movement next.
Hey guys, this is Admech movement, turn 1.
Start out with some command points over for the machine over there, right?
I repaired him first with the attack priest of the attack priest agency of his ability. Unfortunately, he rolled a 1. I command point that one, and again still a 1. So just recovered that 1. Then I use the stratagem Tech Adept, so I can repair the same model again with the repair ability. And unfortunately, it was a 2, so again just 1 wound restored. So I'm back to 5.
Okay,
better than nothing. The rest here, the Sisters of Silence were kinda on steroids. I advanced them all. It was on average between 11 to 13 inches for the squad, so they're here now in this brawl for, for objective 3. I just moved slightly up the peltasts and the hoplites on there, and the rest actually stayed put everywhere, and the other guys obviously they are in combat, so they also stayed put.
Alright, so we are now on to your shooting phase. I didn't record any of that. Okay, Simon, take us through your charge, then fight phase.
Okay, so charge phase, I was trying to, because of Blood and Guts, I was trying to get the Reaver. Unfortunately, I needed an 8. I rolled a 7. Bad luck for me in that case. My Vanguard couldn't strap any wound on the Reaver, and he stroked back and killed an additional 1. So that's for the fight phase. So we rolled off camera already the moral. He was fine, and he was fine.
Also, my witches over here rolled a 1, which was key to keep them
exactly. Point though is I didn't score any mission, so Michael's getting 1 additional victory points, but I got first blood. So things are rolling. Drukhari's got some little beating, or have an advantage in points, but we will see who wins the attrition fight.
Score is 5-1. Here we go. Turn 2 next. My Drukhari have a comfortable 5-1 lead, so I opted to go for 1. I still have defend objective 3. There is no escape. No prisoners, which I'm really hoping to rack up some points on this turn, and then psychological warfare. So I feel pretty good about getting my 1. Simon, your canticle, sir.
My canticle is Litany of the Electroman, so this means each Skitarii unit, also the Titan Guard, which is 1 inch away from an enemy unit, rolls a d6, and on a 6, this enemy unit gets d3 mortal wounds.
That's pretty good. Okay.
That's pretty awesome.
Alright, on to my movement phase. Drukhari turn 2 movement, and they use the heck out of their rerolls for advancing, thanks to Power from Pain. As you can see, all the witches have disembarked their transports. I've moved the venom up behind these sisters. 5 witches here have jumped out. I advanced the Hellions. I actually rolled a 3 first. I re-rolled it to a 1. So they're going to be -1 to shoot. I left the Scourges in there. And that unit of witches that got below now, the Raider, has also moved forward. Also moving forward are these Kabalite warriors, along with Archon. And the Kabalite warriors that were behind them have moved up and advanced. They won't be shooting. Move forward with the Scourges into the woods, because I love that, +1 to cover save. That particular Raider only moved 6 inches forward because it is on its last leg. This one got to move 10 inches. And everyone over here has disembarked, and I have dropped the Raider, the last Reaver, out of combat. He's closest to that mage. What do you call it, Simon?
Tech Priest Dominus.
Yes. Also advancing were both Dolly there, I end up Tech Priest Dominus, and Kitty behind that one lone guy. So lastly, this squad has also advanced. Everyone else just moved normally. So we are ready to go into our shooting phase, and it looks like it's going to be a deadly one for Simon, so buckle up, buddy.
Let's shall see.
So a pretty poor round of shooting by the Dark Elder. This was the good side here. Managed to take, with the combined shooting of everything over here, the squad of 2 girls with flamers, squad of 3 girls with flamers. Missed with both blasters. It was just kind of nuts. But in the end, I did what I needed to do. I would like to have killed some of those sisters with the swords as well, but it wasn't happening. These guys who moved up, they shot pretty terribly as well, but with the ones to reroll, I did manage to kill one guy over there. On this side of the board, Dark Lance didn't do anything, and neither did this Dark Lance. I actually hit this with 2 blasters, but only managed to do a combined of 3 wounds there. The first blaster being the Blike, and then of course the Archon with the blaster. It's all very unfortunate. As far as shooting, the Icon also used his Phantasm Grenade Launcher to do 1 mortal wound over there with the Torment Grenades. Rolling 1 on both times I've used that. I love that stratagem. It's not coming through yet. And then killed one with the Blast Pistol from the Succubus. But that's really all that happened over here. So not great on the shooting. Hoping to make up for it in the charge phase and score some of those points. So we'll be back after the charge and fight phase. Oh, lastly, those 2 Dark Lances there failed to hit. Disappointing. Okay, it was kind of a crazy charge and fight phase, so we'll start on this side of the board. Kitty dispatched the one lone guy who was over here, securing no prisoners for us, while Dolly charged in with her Triptych Witch and Precision Blows, did 2 mortal wounds onto the Tech Priest Dominus, and then he failed 1 save. Simon sent a command point, but still failed it. So he is down to 2 wounds. In return, he did 2 wounds on Dolly. This Switch squad did 3 wounds to this larger squad of Mechanicum, while that Witch squad and Anna and the Raider managed to destroy that smaller squad there. Ended up losing 1 Witch to Overwatch over here and 1 Witch to Simon's Crazy Canicles there as well, but that's all the Canicles got was that 1. So now over to the other side of the board. Simon was very clever and interrupted after I started out the combat phase with Dolly attacking his Tech Priest Dominus, and with his squad of 5 girls armed with swords managed to kill 2 Hellions, 1 Witch from this squad on the left and 2 Witches on the squad on the right. In return, this squad of Witches ran through the 5 Witches that were there. Poor saves by Simon, plus just Witch weapons are so good right now. It's ridiculous. Over on the right, we killed 3 from that squad in there. They did not do any damage to us in return. The Venom had worked its way out of being able to attack because there's a little bit more than 1 inch away and can't quite squeeze in there with this consolidation move. So now we're going to owe you some morale checks. This is important, Simon, because one of my cards is Psychological Warfare.
Okay, so I lost 3. I have Leadership of 9.
Yeah, so even with a 6, they're going to be okay.
Yes, so you don't get it there.
Let's go to the other side of the board.
The other side of the board, I lost.
Okay, over here, morale check. Simon has already made that morale check, rolling a 1, so he is good there. Drukhari do not need to take any morale checks. Their leadership is 8 with their Arena Champions, their Hecatruxes, what have you, and they haven't lost any more than 2 in any 1 unit, so they're good there. Simon has defended Objective 2, and now we're going to see what I get for killing all these guys in close combat. 1 unit there, 1 unit there, and the sisters over there. Let's see what I roll. So this will be D3 points for me since I destroyed 3 units for 2 Simon. And I also wagered 1. That is the only one I get, so that's a total of 3 points to me this turn. So good lead for the Drukhari as we go to Mechanicum turn 2. After reviewing my cards, Drukhari are going to discard No Escape. So that leaves them with Psychological Warfare and defend Objective 3, which we have started to do. Score is now 8-3 Drukhari. Simon has boldly gone for 1. What do you got, buddy?
Yeah, So actually I draw secure objective 3, which is over there where there's a bunch of witches, which are actually also tube choices. So whatever I do, I don't get them out there. So it's looking grimmer from point sides at least.
Alright, we'll show more objective 3s next. Here's the objective 3 my witches are currently defending and Simon needs to get to secure. Very tough prospects.
So guys, this was movement. Actually not quite a lot. I just disengaged this guy here, the Tesh Priest entrance here also, and the Onager a bit. In the end, before he moved, he regained two wounds, so he was 4 back. And at the end of the movement phase, they repaired themselves each other. I used also command point for Tech Adept, so he's back to 7 wounds here. Oh, I forgot to mark it, and he's full to his full wounds. The Peltas actually just just moved up here for getting good shots, and the hoplites are getting here in front of this brawl. So we'll see what happens.
You forgot the most interesting thing.
I wanted to disengage of combat, but I had to defree, roll the one, so I was not able to beat that one.
Chardonnay and Pala. Grab him. Okay, so now on your shooting phase next.
Okay, shooting phase.
Alright, Simon, your turn to shooting phase. Go ahead and recap.
Was not bad actually. So we start over here. The hoplites took off that venom, didn't blow up. Shooting off the arquebus, didn't do anything here, nothing.
There's a raider there.
Was a raider. The 3 galvanic rifles, so I managed to kill 2 Kabalites. Then also here 2 galvanic rifles into that raider, didn't do nothing. The 2 arquebus, transuranic arquebus, were stripping away 2 wounds out of her.
I did use a command point to reroll 1 save.
Yes, and then the whole Peltas with the flechette blaster mode. It was 36 shots, 18 hits, I think. 16 hits, and quite a bunch of wounds.
Yes, indeed.
Particularly the last roll was really good. So, and finished that raider off. It didn't explode, luckily for me. And yeah, so shooting over here, 1 armiger could take away the last raider over there. He couldn't do a wound on that guy, which was a reaver here before. Then I split up the cannons. 1 cannon was going to the reaver, 1 into, I think...
Yep, the raider.
And this guy was also shooting at the raider and didn't do anything.
Yeah, I did play lightning fast reflexes for 2 command points on him, which saved him from that raider, but not, or that knight, but in the end wasn't enough.
Yes.
So, killed the reaver.
Yes, killed the reaver.
Killed the raider, so I think last you got...
The last thing I got was I split up the neutral laser and the heavy stubber. I killed that succubi here with the neutron laser.
Kitty, say her name, Kitty.
With in total 11 damage, so there was 11 inverted pain rolls, so obviously almost not achievable. And the stubber, I think, took none wounds.
I did 2 damage to her. You wounded me twice. I made 1 save, failed 1. That's when I used the command point.
Exactly.
Reroll.
Yeah.
She has 1 wound left.
So she survived with 1 wound, and yeah, that's my shooting. So. Let's go to the charge phase, fight phase, and go on.
This will be more fun for us.
So guys, charge phase or fight phase. So obviously my hoplites get into close combat, almost wiped out the Hellions over here. 1 remained, and I think I killed also one witch.
So there's a squad of 2 in there right now, and a separate squad of 4.
Michael interrupted with his last 2 command points, killing off the sisters.
Yeah.
And yeah, swinging back, the Hellion killed 1, and the witches killed 2, because I was not able to make a 4-up invulnerable. Over here, my Skitar didn't do nothing at all, and obviously were slain by the bunch of attacks they have there. So that was everything. Unfortunately, I again don't score anything, but yeah. So you get 1 point more. So I'm thinking honestly already that you're winning on points, probably.
Yes, 9-3. I did pull myself off of Objective 3, which I was trying to defend in a moment of uncertainty and unclarity. And I owe you a morale check for the Hellions. They have lost 4. Heliarch's leadership is 8. That's a 3. He's going to stick around, Simon.
Yeah. So they have the Titan Guard has a moral of 7. They lost 3. So it's a 4. It's a 5.
Ooh, psychological warfare kicks in, Simon.
Yeah, and unfortunately, though, I don't have any command point anymore.
So that's going to give me 12 points, actually, because I was sitting at 10. Those guys are okay, and everyone else is okay. So I think that's going to be it. As we go to Drukhari turn 3, we'll start doing consolidate turns after this, as there's a lot less units on the board. Drukhari went for 1 with the 10-3 advantage I have right now. I don't want to give Simon any easy ones. Still got defend objective 3. I pulled supremacy, which should be an easy get. Control 3 objectives. Pain in all its forms. I got to kill 1 in the shooting and kill 1 in the fight phases. And then defend objective 6. Defend objective 6 might be doable. It's back here. And Simon, your canticle this turn
is plus reroll 1s in the fight phase.
Okay, I think he's expecting some charges. So am I. So, on to Drukhari movement phase. Actually, we're going to do it all and wrap it up at the end of turn 3. Already up 10-3, the Drukhari had a tremendous round 3. After some movement, these guys combined fire to take out some of those guys, and then led by Dolly, the witches threw a grenade in there, blast pistols, everything else. We managed to destroy that squad in shooting. They were helped out by this squad of Scourges, which have now secured objective 3. Some shooting here didn't do anything in close combat. Simon made 2 4-up saves, fortunately for him, but in the end it wasn't enough, as I killed 6 in close combat, 5 in close combat, and he lost 1 in the morale test. So those witches have now cleared that right flank. Over on the other side, shooting managed to bring down the Tech Priest Dominus. And then it was... Go ahead, Simon.
And the Engine Seer.
Engine Seer was taken down in close combat. Combination of Dali over there, along with the witches. No wounds to the Doomcrawler. That's okay. Archon missed. Dark Lances missed. I did manage to shoot up here, but didn't kill anybody with those Scourges. But at the end, I have gotten pain in all its forms, as I have killed people in both the shooting phase and in the assault phase, or the fight phase, and I got supremacy, holding objectives 3, 6, and 4. Keep in mind, I have defend objective 3 and objective 6 as cards, so if they can survive, they're going to be doing good. Supremacy is worth D3 for 1, Simon. So that's going to give me, because I made my thing, a total of 3 points this round for 13 points total for the Drukhari.
I made Blood and Guts because I killed the last Hellion over there, so...
I think that brings you up to 4, right?
Yes, that's a 4 now.
Oh, I got Slay the Warlord as well.
So you have 14.
14-4 going in bomb at turn 3.
But you also get... I will also get the Slay the Warlord, be sure.
To be sure. We shall see. Simon has opted to go for 1, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, so I'm opted to go for 1. Probably I also won't achieve any one of that one, because objective over there.
Objective 1 back there.
Objective 6 would be here, but you're in 3 inches of that one, so, and you're troop tracer, so I can't hold it whatever I do. And the rest is also not achievable for me, so well, I will just try to get a moral victory in killing his warlord, and probably after that I will call it, because there's nothing to do for me anymore.
It's looking dark, so we'll bring back after turn 3. Simon's go right here. Simon's gonna call it here, folks. He did manage to take out some witches there with the autocannons from there. Unfortunately, some sniper shots, even though he wounded me 3 times, my warlord that is, she made 3 invulnerable saves and 4 up, so she was good. And then he killed 2 Kabalite warriors with some shots out there. So in the end, Simon Poor mission draws and too many witches, I think, spelled your doom. We'll come back and talk about it, but good game.
Good game, sir.
All right. Be back. Welcome back to the War Corgi YouTube network. Exciting victory for the Drukhari over the first time on the channel, Admech.
Admech, yeah. Well, let's go quickly inside about my thoughts. First crucial thing was the tactical mission style with this gambit. I was not able to achieve a mission, which constantly feeds him with victory points. Obviously, because I always drew not that missions what I need to have.
Like we talked about, it almost doubled the penalty of not achieving or drawing good cards.
Yes, it doubled that one, so that was really hurting. Next thing was also, it's always crucial, particularly for Drukhari, to have first turn. So one could argue that why did I deploy then in that case very far into the edge of my deployment zone. So there's one reason for that one. As every one of you knows that Skitarii or Admech weapons, particularly of the Skitarii, are just 18 inches. So you have to go for that gambit, otherwise, well, it's done, because even if I would deploy far further and well, advancing, yeah, they are mostly assault guns, but then even with the canticle, with the stratagem where you can put +2 if you have an enhanced data teeter on your Skitaris, well, in that case it evens it out, but on the other cases not. So this is always like a thing. Second thing, I'm playing Graya, and I hoped that Refuse to Yield will kick in a little much more, because I have more bodies, so the statistics actually should be much more on that favor. Unfortunately not. I think I made 2 or 3 of this Refuse to Yield saves in total.
Wasn't a lot.
Was not a lot. I like to play Skitarii. They're better guardsmen, definitely, with better guns.
There's nothing better than a guardsman.
Skitarii are better.
We shall see.
And one thing, I mean, I wanted to max out for almost 1750, but I was not able. That's why I took the Sisters, and the Sisters with 5 flamers or with the swords are kind of really expensive. They are fast, they have nice amount of attacks, but yeah, one could also argue and say, yeah, but you could take a Rhino. Yeah, but this doesn't really help you, a Rhino. In that case, you just have to lose, you have to spare somewhere 70 points, and in my opinion, Sisters are quite fast with 7 inches, and with advancing, and with the flamers automatically hitting, so this is kind of okay. The left flank of mine, they kinda hold it on for a while, even though you didn't have your full squad there. Michael, he focused on my right flank, putting all his...
Well, I split my forces into 2. Most of the close combat specialists were on your right flank,
yes,
and most of my shooting specialists were on your left flank, because I did not want to be charging into 10 flamers,
definitely,
any sort of witches. So I think that move paid off. Those
definitely.
flamers had to die first, and they did. You're right, they were fast, but they weren't very survivable, and you weren't making good saves with them. And once I cleared them out and I could get your other girls in the close combat, then all Drukhari are pretty decent in close combat, especially Witch Cult. I felt like I was going to win that eventually, and I did.
I mean, I was also thinking you will win that close combat, but I was at least hoping that I can at least inflict some casualties to you, because casualties for you are much more paining you than it does me, because I have the more bodies. So
and my models are painted, so it caused me more pain to pull them off. So
maybe not.
paint some models, you might see.
And yeah, the Tech Priest and the engines here, they're cool HQ units, good supportive. Even though you were shelling them, particularly the Onager with the Dark Lances almost hitting all the time, I was still able to save something and to repair him back. That's really cool. So,
yeah.
So AdMech has a really disadvantage that, or this advantage that even if they get first turn, like he lost I think 7 wounds in first turn,
He did, yeah.
and I just repaired him back. So it's really awesome. And yeah, the Rangers, yeah, they're a good support unit. With the Arquebuses, you can knock off vehicles. Unfortunately, they didn't in my case, because either I was not hitting or he was saving them on a 5+.
You did a lot of damage to him that first turn. You just weren't able to finish him.
Yeah, that was the thing. That was a key thing that even with my Helverines, I couldn't finish off all the vehicles, because that would have gave him a real disadvantage. First of all, of course, emergency get out, so maybe losing their 1-2, already casualties piling up, and the most important thing, he could charge with that Raiders.
Yep.
So soaking up Overwatch, and if I would have been able to finish them off in the first round, then I would see that would work, but it wouldn't work. It didn't work actually. One surprise for him was that I can shoot in close combat. This was a little bit, yeah, not good for him.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't good for my bikes.
Yeah, your bikes were finished off. And what really good is about the combination of red saturation when you're in close combat, and you have the Graia Water Trait. So this means both kicks in, and then suddenly you're wounding them on 4s, not on 5s. And particularly if you're Inured to Pain, where you have a kind of like a feel no pain on each damage, and you roll a wound of 6, you have 2 damage. So he has to roll 2s, 2 for this one. So that actually helps. I had a previous game against a guy, Death Guard, and my Skitari did in that case very well, because, well, I was lucky also with the wound rolls. I had a bunch of 6s, and it really negates the feel no pain.
Mm-hmm.
So particularly if you then started to charge inside, and then I was shooting in close combat because of the Water Trade. So actually that was funny that even Death Guard is this kind of attritional warfare army. I won the attritional warfare by that thing, so that was quite cool. Sisters of Silence again, as I said, 100 points for the Wych Cheaters for a 5-girl squad,
Yeah.
95 for the Vigilators. I used them in several games before also, like with the Death Guard guy. In that case, they could also use their anti-psych abilities, which helped a bit.
Sure.
But honestly, I have the feeling that they are too expensive for what they do. And even buying another Rhino for them, it's too much.
They might be worth it against a heavy Psyker army, but you know, any other game, you're paying way too much for what they bring to you.
Yes, I mean, I had like almost like 300 points just for the sisters.
Yep.
So in that case, I could get more Skitari, more Hoplites and Peltas, and just shoot the crap out of him, which would really do well thing. Also, I was following the discussion about Peltas and Hoplites. Hoplites are a very decent unit.
Yeah.
Very decent, in my opinion. They can knock off vehicles, quite reliable, even if they are toughness 7 and toughness 8. Your red carabines of your Skitari are your anti-tank gun kinda. And the Peltas are good, in my opinion, against specific armies. And this is Drukhari. Because against Drukhari you just use the Flechette Blaster when they are in rapid fire range, so even every model is has 4 shots. So when you have a 10-man squad, 40 shots that's nothing to squeeze. Okay,
Hitting
no
on threes.
hitting on threes. Maybe no AP and 1 damage, but the amount of shots is doing that one. The work.
Especially against Drukhari, which has a 6-up save or a 5-up save.
Exactly, exactly. And even other armies like Space Marines, they have to be aware or beware of that one. I don't deny that the Peltas are doing the same job like the Vanguards are doing, just a little bit more expensive, but it still have these abilities that you can decide which kind of shot you want. You can take the kinetic hammer shot, where you have string 4, AP -2, 30 inches, knocking off Marines. Quite reliable. The Flechette Blaster I already said, and of course the one thing, the line of sight blocking thing. When you don't have line of sight, 18 inches, you can just shoot over something, whatever. So they're a good supportive unit, and this is how you should treat them. From gameplay, I don't know if I made a big error there somewhere, something crucial. I don't think so. Or what do you think?
No, I don't think you made any errors, but even if you had better cards, I'm not sure you could have stopped the tide of Drukhari that was coming at you. Because when we looked at the end of the board, you had 2 knights, and that might be the exception. You gotta see if those knights can do stomp attacks.
They can't.
They can't, that's right. So they're great fire support platforms, but once the Drukhari got in on you, I think they were just going to roll through you, which they did.
Yeah, they did. So, and that's why it was actually crucial for me that I had to get off this vehicles as soon as possible, and then that I can shoot at you.
And me going first was important, because then I was up
Very
the field.
important.
And 2 things: shard nets save witch lives.
Yes, sharpness do. Yes.
So you can't shoot into them. That's huge for witches, obviously. And then Cult of the Red Grief, still great. There's a number of units that I advanced and charged. You give out your splinter pistol shots or your blast pistol shot, which hurts a little bit more, but it really does, once you get out of that vehicle for 3 inches, you move 8 inches, then you can advance, and you're re-rolling your advance rolls. It's really good.
And I think you can also charge, don't you?
Absolutely, yeah. That's the kicker there, is you can re-roll charges in the first turn.
That's huge. That's huge.
And so my Succubus Prime Dolly, which you guys all know, who survived this game as a lady, miraculously, yes, absolutely. She's jumping out of the raider, she's advancing, then she's charging. I haven't gotten the triptych for triptych whip, and the her warlord trait to really do a lot of damage for me, but it's going to one of these days. And succubuses aren't great in close combat, but they're not bad either.
I think succubus are in my opinion, one of the best close combat units. So
no, nonsense.
Against, I mean,
nonsense.
Getting rid of special characters, they're perfect.
They don't do enough damage. All their weapons are damage 1, except for, of course, Anna being armed with the Bloodblade is a D3.
And honestly, you're hitting on 2s, rerolling 1s.
Yes, and I'm moving on 4s.
Yeah, but mostly in all our matches, I never saw that you didn't put all the attacks in one of my characters. It was always the full house.
Very solely do they kill them, though. Yeah. I'm telling you, it's -2 AP. They're not bad. I'm not trying to say they're bad close combat. They just
and they're buffing up your witches.
Absolutely, rerolling 1s, and especially once you get to round 3, they're rerolling 1s, hit on 2s. So
yeah,
very good. Don't get me wrong. They just don't kill as much as I had hoped, which is fair. They're not very expensive headquarters, but I just need to manage my expectations. They're not charging in and they're not killing a Space Marine captain or your.
But almost you did it. I mean, with the two mortal wounds in addition. If I wouldn't, in that case, roll hot, my Dominos would be done.
Sure.
And the thing is about the Dominos, if you can handle it with a Temporary Endosseer, they can both repair each other. So which you saw actually, and this is the thing what you have to use. I mean, Dominos shouldn't be in close combat, or you should avoid it, but he's also a character which you shouldn't underestimate.
Right. And I'm just going to add that Dolly didn't manage to kill the Engine Seer by herself either.
Yes.
And he only had, he was 5-up saves and everything else. It took the Witch Squad that was helping her to kill him. So she's fine. I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining about my Drukhari. Don't get me wrong. It just don't expect them to be a blender unit, because they're just not.
Exactly, and what we really have to say is, I mean, with the points reduction on the witches and the weapons on the witches, that's unbelievable.
Witch weapons, huge. They also got +1 attack going from Index to Codex,
Yes.
which essentially made them blood brides.
Yeah, that's really buffed them up. Of course, you have to shoot them to death, obviously, but it's quite a little bit. It's not impossible, but you have a lot of vehicles. There may be weak paper mache vehicles, but normally you don't have so many anti-attack guns that you can rely on of the amount of raiders and venoms which you can actually take. You can't take them all off.
And you saw lightning fast reflexes being used to good advantage.
Definitely.
2-point stratagem, it's worth the 2 points. It prevents those raiders from going boom too quickly. Or sometimes you use it on scourges or reavers or anything that can fly, really. It's a really good stratagem, and it's one of the small tricks that can help keep those raiders and venoms alive, along with that 5-up invulnerable save, which if you're rolling hot, which sometimes you do, makes them difficult to destroy.
And when you run like I do heavy Skitari, so you love the I think Doctrine Imperialis. I don't know how it's exactly, but it's the specific one which you add +1 to your hitting rolls, and when you have an enhanced data tier, but I always have when I'm playing Graia because of rerolling the moral test, you get +2. So that's huge. I mean, on plasma calibers, overcharge for free.
Yeah,
almost.
Yeah.
And when keep up dominance behind them, they're making mince beef of a lot of things. So
I only got one last thing to add. I ran for the first time a small battalion of Kabalite warriors, the Obsidian Rose persuasion. Most people run Agents of X, so you can play. I'm sorry, Black Cabal, Blackheart. Sorry, Blackheart.
Blackheart, yes.
I apologize to.
Shame on you.
I know the Dark Elder community. Azrael, that is going to hang him. They probably flay me. But you know, I got it eventually. So the Blackheart, so you can run the Agents of X stratagem. Not a great play in a friendly game like we like to have at the Warhammer YouTube network. And I will say, Obsidian Rose,
it's actually really decent. You get +6 on your splinter carabines on your all splinter weapons. That's
all weapons.
On all weapons. That's huge, because when you see that actually you have actually a medical range of weapons, it really buffs you up. So I mean, splinter carbines have 18 inches.
24. Well, the carbines it doesn't count for because it doesn't apply to the scourges. Okay. But the splinter rifle's 24-inch range.
So 30-inch ranges. So you just, I mean, you can like Michael always doing, like having those witches which are running up and tying up everything and slaughtering. You just keep them behind, sneaking around some objectives, and you just harass.
Fight, right?
Yes, you just harass something, poke something, and that's everything.
And dare your opponent to shoot at him.
Yeah, I mean, because your opponent has to choose. Either he shoots on the Kabalites, okay, they die, but then the witches will finish them off.
Yeah.
So it's always the decisions, and no one will want to have, if he has the ability to shoot a full squad of witches in front of his face. He wants just to kill them as soon as possible.
Yeah. So that's why I run the Obsidian Rose. I think they're fun. Their stratagem doesn't help me out any because I'm running 5-person squads, but I do like it. The two Archons is interesting.
I think in your army type or your type of army, it's really fitting. It's really supplementing and complementing your army.
I would run a second battalion of witches, but I can't do that because I can only run 3 succubi.
Ah, okay, I got it.
So I have to bring in the Kabalites in order to run 2 battalions, and it would paid off. I had started with 14 command points. I got 2 remaining right here in my hand. Simon was like, "Man, you spent a lot of command points. You got any left?" And I was like, "Yeah, I got 2 left." I think I had 4 left at the end of turn 2, but very helpful to have that second battalion.
Well, what I will definitely do is, I mean, I will definitely bolster my ranks of Skitari and Hoplites so that I can field 2 battalions, which then are like, I think, 16 command points. So then I can also throw around command points like you do.
yeah, it's just a lot of fun.
Yeah, and why I like to play AdMech more massively is, or with a lot of manpower, I love to have bot control. well, in that case also the missions have to be in your favor. But if you have board control and you have in the Vanguard are troop choices, you can contest. Unfortunately, I was not able to use that stratagem acquire at any cost. When, for example, one Skitarii unit is on 3 inches in front of objectives, you get +1 to your save and 1 to attacks, I think. So
yeah, I hemmed you back up pretty quickly.
Yeah, so I was not able actually to even use this one because I really wanted to use that one. Yeah, so that would help me, particularly on that side there where we had this objective number 3. You can use that stratagem also on a Titan Guard on the hoplites, and just imagining +1 on their save. It doesn't specify the invulnerable save, so you have literally 3 up invulnerable save hoplites. Yeah, when their witches are there. So in that case, you could maybe get the witches, but just in that case. And you get 1 additional attack.
Yeah, I think that was a pretty lengthy discussion for the first time having the AdMech on, so hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you enjoyed the video battle report and discussion, please make sure that you are a subscriber and then give this video a like so more people can find it.
And definitely guys, if you found something we did wrong, write us. We try somehow to reply.
Yeah, every time.
And yes, I hope you enjoyed it, and see you next time. Bye bye.
Bye.